Nick Boy, and welcome to Pocket News for Thursday, the 8th of December. Today on the show, Fan Doom, doomed not to be Doom, and harnessing the power of upwards-facing plastic explosives. Oh, got them words out. So sweet. Alright, here's what's been making headlines, and first up, a fan-made Doom game is pretending not to be Doom. The Doom-inspired roguelike DoomRL has now become DRL and shared its source code in an effort to appease lawyers from ZeniMax, the owners of the IP. DoomRL's creator received a letter last week which demanded the removal of, quote, all ZeniMax trademarks from meta tags, keywords, media, and other visible or concealed text that are connected to the website. I guess it's a pretty reasonable request. At least they're not going full Nintendo, demanding the game be removed from the internet, placed in a small Ziploc bag, and then thrown into a volcano. It's an odd process, but it is effective. It gets you removed from the Keeleys. The fan creation will continue to live on as DRL and in the hands of whoever downloads the source code. It's mine now, you fools! As we know, shareware is part of what made Doom the success it is, so even without the name, DRL is about as Doom as it gets. Moving on to battier things, and Telltale has announced they will be wrapping up their Batman series next week. Episode 5, City of Light, will drop on the 13th of December, just in time for me to stream it before we wrap up on the 16th. I hope it's a strong ending. Episode 4 was not the best one. It was okay, but it was still just a little bit mediocre, and I want them to finish strong rather than just heading headfirst into that mediocre, tepid pool of other Telltale trash. But here's something that's not too mediocre. Telltale, I'm sorry I said that about your games. I actually like all of them. The Minecraft one is probably my least favorite, so fire whoever worked on that. The rest though. Sony has announced that since the Black Friday sales, the PlayStation has eclipsed 50 million worldwide sales. These are sales to consumers, not just shipments to retailers. 50 million consoles are sitting in people's homes right now. Look to the person on your right. They don't own a PS4, but that girl sitting in front of them, yeah, she's got one. Also, what's she doing in your house? Now hold on, Spice Marines! I got bad news. Space Hulk Deathwing is a Warhammer 40k shooter which was due out this week. I told you on Monday the game was coming out this week, and now you've made a liar of me, Warhammer. I will have my comeuppance. Oh, I'll come up you. However, the developers announced overnight that they would be delaying the release for 5 days to add some extra polish and iron out bugs which became apparent in the recent beta. On their Steam store page, they said, quote, we know you are eagerly waiting to purge Xenos, but we want to ensure all players can enjoy the game optimally on launch by continuing to work on the massive amount of feedback for an extra week. Massive amount of feedback, 1 week from launch. These are not encouraging words, and neither's this. Battleborn's gone pro. It's good for Battleborn. 2K has announced that Gearbox's struggling cooperative shooter will be getting a PS4 hat compatibility update. A toggle on the platform will allow player to choose between 1080p at 60 frames per second or 4K at 30 frames. Also, player will have access to all 25 characters once the prologue is completed. There is no set date for the update, but hopefully, for the sake of the player, it will drop before Christmas. Final Fantasy XV is getting an update too. Game director Hajime Tabata has said that this is the first in a series of free updates to the game throughout the coming year. The first patch won't just tidy up bugs, but will add story cutscenes and item and power balances to make the slow-paced 13th chapter more interesting. Again, there is no rollout date for this update just yet. I am streaming the game this afternoon, and while I am nowhere near the 13th chapter, I will make sure to judge it extra harshly when I finally do get there. Now, over to John for the Rocket League news update.
Thanks, Nick Boy. Rocket League is getting some extra shit. The Starbase Arc update, which drops today, brings with it a new arena. It's octagonal and set in space, which is fantastic because octagons in space are my two favorite things. The update also brings in new features such as a colorblind mode and support for the Steam Workshop for mods and skins galore. Someone make a V8 supercar model, please. 1 piston for each side of that sweet, sweet octagon. Back to you, Nick Boy.
Thanks, John. Boy, he certainly does love his octagons. And now to someone who I assume also loves shapes, it's Jonathan Bugg with our number 7 thing of the day.
Would you all please, with your applause, welcome the Prime Minister of Australia, Malcolm Turnbull.
It's Thing of the Day. Hitman is a game about killing people. The fun comes from finding interesting ways to do the deed. Serious Pony may have gone a bit too far with this yoga betrayal.
Fluid movement. Very good. Now, transition into Lord of the Dance. Remember to breathe throughout. And finally, tree pose. This one is tricky. Find a good spot for it.
Now, this is a view to die for. That was just what I needed.
Target down. Now it's time for sodas to retire.
It's Thing of the Day. Alright, that is it for Pocket News today. My Pocketeer is Jonathan Bugg. You certainly put in, I would say, the least amount of effort that is humanly possible for a Thing of the Day entry, and particularly one that made it to number 7 on our top 10 of the year, because we've had so many. But boy, howdy, did we laugh so hard when we saw that the first time. The wait. Impeccable. Good work, Buggy. This afternoon on the Pocket YouTube channel, I check out Dead Rising 4, and also please send in your asks for the final Ask Pocket of the year coming this Friday. Let me know in the comments or on Twitter with the hashtag AskPocket. Are you on Twitter? Let me know on Facebook, on the Pocketeers Facebook group and Steam group. There are links for everything I just said in the description below. Until we next assemble my Pocketeers, Nick, bye out. Back to you, John. Mwah.
Firewatch is the game that I will remember 2016 for. It was just unique. It was like I sat down, I played it in 2 sittings. It just felt like a little vacation that I went on with this horrible story that happened. But it felt like a little encapsulated moment versus something that I'm just going to keep loading up every day. It was just this one little story. I saw the footage on the episode the other night, and I was just like, oh, I remember when I went on that trip, kind of thing. I was like, no, that was a game I played in such an intense little moment, and so it stays with me. Perfection. Wonderful game.
This has been a surprisingly nice chat.
What were you expecting? Me not to be here?